make it a little easier to read and to make the color scheme fit with the new site. And then finally we have, this is new, is the contact form. Now, how this works is it's just a simple form. You can fill it out with your information and a little bit of a message. What this will do is when you submit, this will send an email to the webmaster address, what is it, webmaster at IEEE no. You guys know it'll send it to the current webmaster address, as well as the send a CC to the member development chair. That way you can get any feedback from other members, etc., without actually having to expose the email addresses or knowing who it's going to. They can just sort of give their feedback. Next, we have the officers page. Now, again, we've broken this down into a hierarchy. Before, this was one giant page with links that would jump around the page, and it was just really hard to read. It was just long and tedious. So now it's broken down into smaller pages, one for the executives. You can jump here, you can see the chair, vice chair, etc. One for the Senate, one for committees, and one for the chapters. And you can see where this is going. We also have affinity groups, student branches. Now this page was a little bit buried on the old site as the responsibilities page. Before, in order to get to it, you had to first navigate to the volunteer page, and then you could find it there. However, this actually includes the responsibilities for all of the officers, so we've moved it under here. You can jump here, and it lists the positions. Each one of these will let you jump directly to that position and see what the written summary is for that person. So let's jump to the student activities, and we can jump here, and all the links are still intact. We can jump to the student branches, and so on. All right, so that is officers. News. Before, we had one news page, and news and events were then listed there. Now if you go to the news, it's going to give you a full list of all the news items. As I mentioned when I was on the home page, we only have 3 at the moment. Well, 3 that haven't been archived into old newsletters. But if we were to have more, say we had 10, the 5 most recent would bubble up to the home page, and everything else would be accessible here. It's very similar to the to what you saw on the home page. You can click on the title or on the full article link to jump to the full article that includes everything in full. Jump back here. And again, if there is a thumbnail or an image associated with the article, it'll bubble up and you'll see a small little thumbnail here. You can see that a little bit more clearly on the events page with Photonics Week. We added a photo to it and it bubbles up, and we can see a little thumbnail here. Clearly we have a lot more events than we do news items. You can see here we have well over 5 events, all of which you wouldn't actually see on the home page. However, by going here, you can see the full list. All right, that way we don't lose it. The content, it'll be preserved there forever. If you want to go back and see what was going on, 2 years ago, you can jump back and see these items. Next, we have publications. Again, this used to be one page with links going off. It was very hard to navigate. Now it's broken down into a hierarchy. We have the newsletter, which if we go to, will take us to the newsletter archive. We can go back and view news items from 2010 to 2006. Click on either one, and it brings you to a PDF. These were in HTML before. We thought that didn't sort of degrade well, and so we converted the content to PDF, and you can see what was going on in whichever month of whichever year, in this case October of 2006. Now, this is only going to be for these 5 years because any new news items are going to be in the new website format, and there will be no need to create a PDF and archive it. It'll be archived in a different structure. So this page will never change. It's only for the past 5 years at this time because of the different structure. So, for example, 2011, when we go over to 2010, the 2011 items won't be found here. They'll be found under the news items and will be archived accordingly. And we have annual reports. As you can see here, we can see the annual reports for the past 6 years. Again, these just will take you to a PDF that has the report. New content, of course, can always be added as we have new AGMs and the new reports are released. For example, when the 2010 one is released, it'll go up here on top. All right, and then we have the awards page. Awards page stayed pretty much the same. We just cleaned up the content a little bit. All the links are still maintained and go where they should. All the content, the documents have been ported over and are still accessible. And that's it. Lastly, we have volunteers. We have the volunteer page that can be accessed here. We see a list of, again, this is pretty much the exact same way that it was before. Whatever content was there still exists. Access to SAMI, the L31s, and of course the expense claims, which can be downloaded just as easily as they could before. Okay. All right, so that's it. One last thing is the search. The search bar is maintained. It no longer uses the service that it was using before. It uses Google Search limited to the ottawa.ieee.ca subdomain. So if we would like to do a search, I can do a search for officers, and it will, of course, be the first hit. So this only searches within the IEEE Ottawa section website, and then takes you to the Google results. All right, well, thank you guys for checking this out. All right, so for further information on how to add content and manage the site, please check out the other videos.